Hello, everybody. I am sitting here in my home, dressed with nowhere to go. This is a quick little snippet that I want to give you live. This snippet is called On the Move. However, I'm not on the move anywhere. I just thought I would broadcast really quickly, about 10 minutes or so, from my home to tell you what's going on astrologically and how I feel. Remember, this segment is on the move. Anybody in here? I can't see anybody else. I don't know why I have so much trouble. Let's see. Oh, there we go. You're here. How are you? Wonderful to see you. I just found a way to change that thing. Hi, Sexy Fast. What's going on? Okay, listen. I'm not going to make this too long because I was on live on Instagram last night, which was wonderful. We had such a good time, and I encourage you guys to come on over there when we do that thing. Hi, Lee. How are you? I'm so glad you're doing well. And Selena, how are you, sweetheart? I'm glad you're doing well. Hi, Rebecca. And that you're safe wherever you are and that you are staying peaceful. Please, that is the priority. And know that this is all temporary. And in astrology, we call it a transit. This is all a transit. So I'm dressed up with nowhere to go. I'm not really dressed up, but I'm dressed with nowhere to go. Because in California, they have locked us down. Locked us down. Peace to you, sweetheart. So what I want to talk about is the spring equinox and the sun in Aries and how it has affected us currently at this time. So happy spring equinox to you. This is the beginning of the new year. Dressed up and nowhere to go. This is the beginning, the new, feeling like you want to step out into something. However, because we're on lockdown, and more importantly, or I should say this, astrologically, because Chiron, check this out, y'all. This is doing a little research that I want to talk to y'all about. Chiron, which I was yelling about in the last, I think the previous video or the one before that, and what's that called? Black Lilith are both in Aries. So here we are, three of them are. We have the sun sign, the sun, currently, transit chart in Aries. Happy spring equinox. That's when the sun is in Aries. By the way, did you know, wait, hold on. What? And squirt. Did you know that in each turn of the season, spring equinox, summer solstice, fall equinox, and winter solstice is the beginning of each cardinal sign, right? The spring equinox is the beginning of Aries, the summer solstice is the beginning of Cancer, the fall equinox is the beginning of Libra, and the winter solstice is the beginning of Capricorn. Did you know? Did you know? Did you know? Cardinal signs are leaders in our zodiac. So here we are, dressed up, nowhere to go. The beginning of spring and wanting to bust out and do our thing. However, some situations have taken a hold of our community, right, in our country and the world at large, for sure. So what's this? The reason being, astrologically, we are seeing this upheaval of situations for a lot of different reasons, but I decided to point out or pinpoint one. The sun is in Aries, 0 degrees, just begun. It will go all the way to 29. They say 30, but it's really 29, right? Chiron is in Aries as well. It just kicked into Aries a little under 10 degrees. So it's vibrating and will be vibrating with the sun very, very quickly. And then Black Lilith is in Aries as well. I can't tell you how auspicious that thing is. Check this out. The sun being in Aries, by the way, Aries energy is vital. Aries energy is the baby. It is juvenile. It's self-centered. It's a risk taker. It's independent. It's off the charts. It's industrious. It does what it wants to do. It's a fighter. Okay? Aries energy fights. It combats. It looks for things to break down, to confront, to question even. In its physicality as well as its mental at times, right? But mainly physical, right? Its ruler is Mars, so it's hot-headed, it's fiery like that. So in Chiron is in Aries. Chiron is nicknamed the wounded healer. Chiron is a beast because, like I expressed in a previous broadcast, Chiron is about wounding the heel and wounding the heel. Oh God, healing the wounds in which we have created, or I should say, personally, stains that have happened in our lives. But on a global level, it's stains that have happened in our society, in our community. So the wounds are coming up, people, and they're being ignited by Aries sun, illuminated by Aries sun, by this kickoff of the spring equinox. At the same time, check this out. We have Black Lilith that's in Aries. If y'all don't know about these asteroids in with Chiron and Black Lilith, Black Moon Lilith, they call it. If you don't know about it, just look it up, Google, right? But I'm giving brief information. Black Lilith is in Aries as well. But this, Black Lilith has to deal with the shadow side of things, sexuality, the darkness. I like to say that Black Lilith is like the boogeyman, right? And if you ever get a reading with me or ever had a reading with me, I'm the queen of analogy. I love to put everything in perspective in a visual way, right? So here we have the wounds coming up with Chiron, and then the boogeyman on top of that. See you, Tennille? The boogeyman on top of that, being illuminated by the sun. How incredibly auspicious is that? How incredibly telling is that? During a time in which, and I'm not going to get too passionate and too involved because my other on the move, I kind of went in and then I passed out that day because I was really hyped about it. But so much pain, so much discovery of the wounds in which we buried are coming to the light in such a fierce dynamic way, because Aries does nothing timid. Aries does nothing, for lack of a better word, saying passively and or sensitively, emotionally in that way. Like Aries does everything forthright. You dig what I'm saying? That's why it's such a burning desire and a hankering to and a panic that's happening over our society. It's all fueled by that Aries energy to allow the wounds and allow the darkness of what it is that we've been sitting on as a community, as a society, as a government, as a people, and even on personal levels to boil over, to bubble up and boil over out real fast, like in a hurry kind of feel. Are y'all understanding this? Yes, y'all? It may seem like I'm stretching for my words or thinking for my words because I am, because it feels like, truthfully, that more is to come. And I'm not coming on here to bring a panic. I'm coming on here to bring an awareness of what's to come. Because in my opinion, the more we clear out, the more we take responsibility for, the more we take accountability for. You know what I mean? The easier we'll be able to deal with this time. So if at any, and I mean, we've been talking about this, and it may seem like a reiteration to you, but if at any level you feel like, you need to get to the bottom of your shit, do that. You need to apologize, do that. You need to go deep into those fears, those boogeyman fears. Now, the reason why I really classify it as boogeyman fears is because it's not real, right? The boogeyman ain't real. Even though your dolls or your toy truck or your coat in the corner made it seem like that it was a figure in the corner in the darkness and you were afraid, it wasn't really real. So what are those aspects about your life, since we want to talk mano and mano, what are those aspects in your life that seem like they hang out in the corner of your mind? It seems like they hang out in history and in your DNA. How about that? And your behind your family secrets. You understand what I'm saying? The bottom line is this: is that the more we unveil, the more we unearth, the clearer we see ourselves and people that are around us. We may not know exactly what to do next. And that's the beauty of God, right? When you really stop and think about it, y'all, that is the beauty of God. That is the beauty of the universe. That is the beauty of time and space. Is that sometimes we're not given given the steps before us. We're just given a little crumb. We're just given a little idea. We don't necessarily know the whole plan. And those that are in control or seemingly feel like they're in control are the ones that are freaking the fuck out, right? Because the boogeyman is showing itself. Because our wounds from the past are showing itself. And the sun sign in Aries, that spring equinox that's kicking it off and putting illumination on things, are saying like, yo, like we have to shine a light boldly, courageously, fearlessly, honestly. You understand what I'm saying? So the more you're honest with yourself and the more you're honest with the people around you, the more you're honest with your divine right and why the fuck you're supposed to be here, the happier you'll be. I can't talk to freak out people because freak out people want to add more to the boogeyman's presence. Does that make sense? All that fear. Okay, I was just told, I just heard a little mention in my brain, because this is how they speak to me, to touch upon that sexuality thing. Now, really briefly before I go, because Black Lilith has a lot to do with the dark side of sexuality and sensuality, sexiness, just to give it a very plain and just a very plain word and description. There may be some people out here who listen to this that may have a problem and or challenges with coming to terms with their sexuality. Now, I'm not just talking about being homosexual or transgender or whatever the case may be. I'm talking about just owning your body, owning your senses, owning what it is that you like about sensations within your soul and that come out to it in a tactile way. That's poetic, but it's honestly true. Because when we start to hone in, or I should say, jail our senses, harbor what it is that we feel, we start to become an enemy to ourselves. Does that make sense? When you jail what you feel, when you don't allow your senses to be cancellated, when you don't allow your senses to be free, when you don't accept the freedom of who you are, bold, butt naked, nasty, and beautiful, then you harbor a sense of sensuality, sexuality, creativity, and creation that comes from the first and second chakras that tell you, yo, you can actually become successful and go up and above this wall in which is being put up for us right now. I'm looking away oftentimes, y'all, because sometimes I distract myself when I look at myself, if you're wondering why. I get messages from spirit when I look off more than anything, because then I want to see what you're talking about, and then I want to see how cute I look, or maybe not, because it's soft, because I'm crazy a little bit. So that's why I look off. But bust that, and take that for a notion. Like really, when it comes to this boogeyman energy, when it comes to Black Lilith, Black Moon Lilith energy, and this Chiron energy, and these wounds that are coming up surrounding these things about your sensuality, about your feelings. But I was told to say about your sensuality, like really, 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 really look in that, because that will start or stop. That will ignite or harbor your creativity and your desire to do something different after this time. Does that make sense to y'all? I keep repeating myself and I feel crazy. I really hope that this broadcast was meaningful for you. All 14 minutes and 15 seconds of it, because I'm about to shut it down. I really, 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 really do. And if you appreciate it, like and subscribe and comment. Tell me what you think. There are days in which spirit is high in me, and then there are days where this is just regular Sonya talking. And I pray that y'all receive all ends of me so I can receive all ends of you. Like on a real community, and we gotta heal, we gotta do this thing together, y'all. And I just really pray that you connect with that. Think about Chiron, Black Lilith, and the sun